It sounds like Chappelle is using white privilege? Are you kidding me? Are we really going to call a black man white privilege? This is NPR, from what I'm remembering correctly. I am Mecca, and we're talking about the articles that are calling out the Dave Chappelle thing. I'm going to tell you what I think after, so stick around for that. This is the biggest thing of the day, the biggest news story I care about today anyway. Can we stop calling black entertainers white privilege, please? Can we stop accusing them of having it?
Well, that's just a sign of mental illness.
Too often in the closer, it sounds like Chappelle is using white privilege to excuse his own homophobia. Are you fucking kidding? Are you out of your fucking minds?
A pony.
But better than a pony.
Are these people out of their ever-loving fucking
I don't think a pony wants to live in your basement.
minds? Because I watched his special. I actually watched his special.
Oh, that's a good point.
Am I redlining too much on my mic? Because I get a little irritable when you pull the, because are you freaking kidding me? Maybe call it something else then. Maybe call it something else like, well, because when you say that a black man has white privilege, you look like a goddamn moron.
This kind of hope is an antidote to loneliness. This kind of hope is an elixir to stagnation.
You look like a fucking idiot and you lose all credibility to your cause.
When hope is in the room, curiosity and introspection of even the harshest realities can be interrogated.
You got it. Can you had people on board until you started that shit, until these people started tearing down statues of Frederick Douglass, until these people started doing just stupid idiocracy stuff. And then we're like, oh, you guys are just angry and want to smash stuff. Kibber! Thank you for subscribing. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, Morbid Fury, really talking about being blinded by race. There's a lot of issues that people have with his material on the transgendered community or members, specific members of it. The Dear White People showrunner, Jacqueline Moore, on why she is boycotting Netflix over the transphobic, quote-unquote, Dave Chappelle special. Which, if you actually listen to it, it basically calls out the transgender community for not being accepting of somebody in their own community for not going with their group. That's what he kind of did, right? That is one of the things that I will get into in my review of this when I actually review the special. But anybody who's actually watched the special, he goes in and he basically calls out the fact that the most unaccepting people are the people who refuse to empathize with people from a different point of view. That it's all about empathy being a two-way street. You don't ruin somebody's life because somebody's feelings got hurt. And if somebody goes against what the group says, they obviously this person didn't actually watch the special, or else she wouldn't be reading. She probably would look in at herself and say, oh wow, we do this in our community. We have been contributing to a lot of the anti-empathy out there. We've been contributing to a lot of the combative, negative experiences people have online. And, you know, maybe we have it pretty damn good. That's the message I took from it. That there's a lot of people in the LGBTQ plus community of a certain age point, and thank you so much, Steve Both, I really appreciate it, that actually went through some pretty heavy stuff with the Stonewall stuff that I don't really want to get into the specifics of, but a lot of people fought for their equality and for their basic civil rights a long time ago, and it comes off as a little bit embarrassing that people in that community, if you actually watch his special, were so non-accepting of a member of their own community. But no, I'm sure it's Dave Chappelle's fault. I'm going to get into what I'm talking about. If you watch the special, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because that really hit me. That really, really hit me, his anecdote. Jacqueline Moore on boycotting has always considered Dave Chappelle one of his comic heroes. His shadow is huge, says Moore, who's a writer and co-showrunner on Netflix's Dear White People. He's a brilliant, goofy comedian. He's brilliant as a political comedian. He's been brilliant for so long, but I also don't think because you've been brilliant means that you're always brilliant. All right. you can criticize aspects of his comedy special for being more of a thinker's special. I would criticize was less a laugh out loud, funny joke. I mean, you're not going to be wetting yourself laughing. He's reminding me a lot more of like a Lenny Bruce or a Bill Hicks, where you're just kind of sitting there and you're like, and they're like, yep, we are kind of dumb. Like, because he takes a lot of shots at white people too, right? He takes a lot of shots at white people. He takes a lot of shots at everybody. He takes a lot of shots at everybody. That's always been the point. I can laugh at myself. I know I'm ridiculous. I mean, look at me. Look at this hair. I'm ridiculous.
As much as we can just believe and not fight our reality.
I'm probably gonna get canceled for it. You know what? I don't care. People have tried to cancel. I don't take well to being canceled. I don't just go away. You can't just squash me or shun me or try. Like, I don't just go away. You can't just cancel me. Same thing with Dave Chappelle. Moore announced on Twitter and Instagram on Wednesday night that she would no longer work with Netflix after she watched Chappelle's latest stand-up special, The Closer. I had no skin off of my back. I've never watched Dear White People because I don't like people who address me that way. I just don't. I'm not just an ethnicity. I am a little... Just call me by my name. Can you do that? Say, hey, you crazy bitch with the red hair. People need to be able to laugh at themselves. Blueprint Symphonic. I mean, if you can't, then what the hell's the point, right?
You can't, because you can't like shampoo and eat a steak at the same time. Like,
Nope.
She also tweeted, I love so many of the people I've worked with at Netflix. Brilliant people. Well, what's your problem then? You know, maybe if you actually watch the special, you get the stick out of your butt. Because why do you think this went through Netflix? The streamer is known for inclusive and diverse programming, expanding opportunities for the most marginalized. That's a good question. I don't know how it got passed, because I will say, having worked on a show there, I know that they think about these things and have conversations about these things. Watch you didn't even watch it. You clearly didn't. Here's the problem. Okay, Dave Chappelle's, most of his special, he tells jokes about, hey, I'm actually a feminist. I'm jealous of the gay community because they get to use glory holes. He also tells an anecdote about how he met a transgendered girl who clearly admired him, and he went out of his way. I don't know if it's true or not. I hope it's true, because I feel bamboozled if it's not. He went out of his way to be inclusive to this woman, to give her the benefit, he brought her as an opening act when she sucked as a comedian. He made her feel special. She's like, hey, I had a human experience here, and who didn't accept her? The fucking transgender community, all right? If you watch the fucking special, you would know this, and I don't care who's gonna try and cancel me after this. We accept you, we love you. Stop stepping over us to be accepted, because you cannot marginalize other people. And if you can't be accepting of somebody in your own community, then what do you expect from the rest of us at this point? What do these people expect? That's what really triggered me. This woman killed herself. All right? This woman killed herself because she was bullied out of the fucking transgender community. I didn't know that. This is what pisses me off. This is why I wanted to make this video. This is why I wanted to talk about this. Is his special a really good comedy? No. It's probably about a 6 out of 10 as far as funny. He's a Lenny Bruce now. You're sitting there listening to him nodding along. He's very intelligent. He's very articulate, all right? This is what I really dislike, when the transgender community comes down on their own and we're supposed to... What are we supposed to do? I can't call them out, because then they'll call me transphobic. I can't do any of that. I just have to sit here and shut my mouth and be quiet while people send threats to J.K. Rowling, who has been in their corner. Like, seriously? We're at a point in history where we have never been more accepting of the LGBTQ plus community, to the point where we're afraid to disagree with them at this point, and I am in that. I'm a bi, I'm a B in the alphabet, so my opinion is shit. I might as well be cisgendered and straight and heterosexual, and because of the way they treat the bisexuals in their community. Oh, you presented straight because you did that. Oh, fuck off. So dear heterophobic, whatever you want to call yourself, can you be a little more accepting? He tells an anecdote about Kevin Hart in this special, where he says this kid's dream I say kid. This man's dream was to host the Oscars. And because you didn't like what he said years ago, he lost his dream. How is hurting people's dreams and livelihoods? Being sympathetic to people who genuinely make mistakes. We're not perfect. Humans are not perfect. Everybody who has ever lived and ever will live has and will make mistakes. Everybody has said and done something that is illegal, cancelable, against the rules. That is how humans are. You cannot have this society built on eggshells. Because if I'm walking on eggshells, then I'm going to feel marginalized. Because if I can't be comfortable in my own skin, because you need to be, then why are you marginalizing me? Alright? Because I don't want to feel uncomfortable in my own skin to somebody who doesn't have to listen to what I have to say. That's the whole point. Dave Chappelle, what he says about people he knows in his life should not affect you one way or another. At all. Just at all. And Dave Chappelle doesn't care anyway. He doesn't care anyway. He gets a standing ovation amidst the Netflix special controversy. If this is what being canceled is, I love it. After being called out for the jokes that the transgender community found offensive, the comedian performed at the Hollywood Bowl in front of Brad Pitt, Tiffany Haddish, and Stevie Wonder and dismissed the outcry. Fuck Twitter. This is real life. You guys are real life, more so than a bunch of random people on Twitter. I don't consider like the stupid Twitterati mobs. That's not canceling. That's not canceling, all right? It's when people like affect your livelihoods and try and get you kicked off of things. It's when people try and cut you out of paths to success, right? That's what he's talking about here. People don't have a whole lot of empathy in the cancel culture community. They like to say they do. They like to say they do, but nobody considers the other person's feelings. Nobody considers how terrifying it is to accidentally say the wrong thing, especially if you don't know what the rules are because they change on a day-to-day basis. Nobody should have to feel oppressed in any way, shape, or form, and that means speech as well.
Now see the violence is inherent in the system? Help, help, I'm being victimized.
You know, there's a great big difference between accidentally saying an outdated term and actively wanting to harm somebody else. There's a huge difference there, and if people can't understand the difference, then we have no hope for society. I am Mecca, and Dave Chappelle doesn't care about being canceled, so he's more successful than ever. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button, and if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!